newoldheads.com/goat.
Thank you, sir. But we're going to do 75 producers. So this portion of the show will be us pretty much trying to iron out the criteria that we will use once we get our 75 and start, going through the list. So I'm going to go around the table, and we can kind of talk about what we think is important as it relates to building the top producer, and just kind of see what you guys think. So Jay Diff, I'll come to you first. Give me something. I'm going to try to take some notes as well. Give me something that you think that's important as it relates to producers. We want to look at a criteria when we compare them.
I would say sampling. And
ability to sample?
That, not necessarily the ability to sample, but being able to mask the sample so that when you first hear it, you don't know where it came from. I don't know what you would call that though.
What you think, Lone? How would you classify that?
I don't even know what that would be called. I mean, you can chop it up, I guess.
Sample difficulty?
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't know if that, this is where I'm going to get extra, like,
that's what we doing.
Extra weird on, because I don't necessarily think that makes somebody, some people do it on purpose. Somebody
would let you know what it is.
Yeah, some people do that stuff on purpose. So I don't know if it's.
How about sample chopping ability? Do you think, because that doesn't apply to everybody, but it does apply to some of the greats, right? So do we want to take that out of consideration?
But then
totally, or
some people get a 0 then.
There are going to be some people that would not qualify for that. That's true.
Well, everybody doesn't sample.
Right. That's why I'm saying some people get a 0.
Yeah. How about an easy one? Drum programming.
Drum programming. I like that. I like drum programming. I like that.
How good are the drums? And that could be, depend on the style. That way, if it's a more trap-esque or whatever, that works. Or if
what
it's
about
more boom bappity, that works as well.
Originality, like a producer that has
define it.
I think that kind of leans towards being able to mask a sample.
Originality is like
kinda for some people. The problem is the only thing with that is it's not a blanket term. Like it. So you wouldn't give Pharrell demerit points for not doing that. You know what I mean?
Not being able to.
Yeah,
he does sample though, but
he
not
does.
Like
but
Dilla or somebody like that.
I think some sort of sample flipping has to be in there though. I feel like the way the complexities of it has to be in there, or maybe it's the melodic elements or something. I don't know.
Sample flipping is going to, in my personal opinion, based off some of the names that I see that are probably going to be on our list, sample flipping is going to apply to more of the list than less, based off the names that I see from what the direction that we're going. You see what I'm saying in terms of what we have?
Well, let me ask you guys this, just as a general question: when you listen to a beat, how much stock do you put in the fact that you can notice a sample versus not notice a sample?
I don't care.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think it's
if the beat knocks,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like rather than don't get me wrong, I feel like could be a super niche category for sample producers, but I feel like almost melodic elements covers that. Like, how do they do their, what'd you say?
I like that.
Creativity.
I like that from a producer standpoint.
Okay, we have to define it though.
Creativity to me is the difference between a producer like Jay Dilla would get high marks for creativity. Lil Jon wouldn't.
You have to define it. You have to define it. You're defining it by saying the same word.
Yeah, because to me, them Lil Jon beats.
It's not about if they go though. I'm talking about technically how the beats are put together. Those aren't as creative as the sample chopping that I would hear from Jay Dilla, in my personal opinion.
Okay, so that kind of goes to what Terry's point about masking the sample is a little bit, right?
Right.
So,
and it's all subjective at the end of the day, right?
So I feel like there's something there. I just don't know how to define it.
Well, maybe we can put an asterisk by that one, because I'm just taking a list, so just coming up with some stuff. What about hit making ability?
That's what I was gonna say. I think that should factor into it. and I know some people would think, oh, well, that disqualifies some of your favorites, but some of your favorites have had hits in different eras.
True.
You know, I mean, some people it's going to lean heavier towards if you're talking about the Neptunes, or Timberland. But you know, Jay Dilla did have "Didn't You Know" and "The Light," and you know, running
dope records.
You know, he had records that got played on the radio and had those chart positions. So,
I don't know. I wouldn't put that in there personally, but
Which
I can see.
I mean, you know, like I said, we're discussing it. So.
Which one? On hit making?
Yeah, I don't think that goes in there. But I can see the argument for it. I just.
What about influence?
Influence, yeah, that's definitely.
I like influence.
Yeah, influence is definitely.
So as it stands, then these are all just, you know, right now we got drum programming, hit making ability, the ability to mask a sample. We still got to come up with the terminology for that. Producer's influence. What are some things that we feel like are still left on the table? I really like drum programming. I like that one from a producer standpoint. I think that's dope.
How they work with artists.
Yeah, something along those lines. I don't know what that is either, but
I like that.
Collaboration.
Maybe collaboration, versatility, or something.
Versatility
in collaboration. I think
versatility can set on his own, and then we could do.
But I'm saying this collaboration versatility is one thing.
Oh, you think it's
the versatility to be able to collaborate with multiple artists.
Oh, see, I'm thinking versatility in terms of the style.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that I'm speaking specifically on the ability for people to be able to collaborate with different artists. Okay. We could attach versatility to something else if we want to.
I'm not mad at that.
You know, if somebody can work with Megan Thee Stallion but could also work with Evidence, then I think that shows range. You know what I mean?
Versatility, collaboration. Okay.
I think melodic elements has to be on there somewhere, and I don't know what that is exactly, because the melody could be related to how somebody flips the sample. You know what I mean? Or it could be to how good they play whatever they play and how catchy it is. You know what I mean? But I still feel like how great their melodic elements because that to me that turns into hit making potentially. You know.
Okay. Do we want to have any weight on producers that have the ability? Well, I guess that still goes back to
beat structure.
Put that down.
Like being able
to the way they format,
being able to have different, not necessarily elements, but different.
I think we could
valleys and peaks in the same beat. Maybe, I don't know.
Arrangement is important in production. Arrangement is important.
Yeah.
You know, you got your producers that, you know, we always talk about drops and, you know, how beats are arranged and other elements that come in and out when they come in and out versus people that may just loop or.
The problem with that, in my opinion, is that a lot of times those adjustments can be made in the engineering realm of things too. Like, I could make a beat and give it to an engineer and it could just be a loop and then they could just put the drops wherever it makes sense. You know what I mean? So
I've seen it done. I've seen it done. Beat structure. I'm gonna write that down.
But beat structure, I think, could tie into maybe a category that's even more thorough. That would be like, and maybe this is already. Did we already mention like overall product, like the how good they are at turning their beat into like a
song?
A song.
No, I don't have that. I don't have anything.
You know what I mean? Like,
but we can do that.
How good are the songs that they make? I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe listenability. You know, like can listen to it on a repeat. You know, doesn't get old. That could go into the looping aspect maybe a little bit. I don't know.
I like listenability because there are some producers that we may think, or you know, that you can point out to that are extremely cold, but you don't want to listen to too much of it. It might be a niche thing where you can recognize the talent, but it's not gonna ride like a high tech CD would ride or something that he produced.
It's kind of like a Flying Lotus versus
right.
You know what I'm saying? One of the well-known producers,
like a Premier mostly loops. I mean, I like a lot of Premier stuff on its own, but it's way more involved in a Flying Lotus beat than a Premier beat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then we'll have to go through and weigh those things because each is great in his own right at what he does.
Right.
I like listenability. I put that on there. Man, this is harder than I thought.
Make sure you put the description of listenability because that's just like saying creative.
Yep.
Is longevity important in beat making?
I like that one. Ability to stay relevant.
This is the thing. Like,
yeah, kind of.
I like that one.
You could either say that, or you could just look at an individual's body of work. You know, maybe they killed it for 5 years. But there's somebody who killed it for 5 years as a more impressive body than work and has sustained over 20.
Right.
So perhaps body of work.
Body work is interesting. I can rock with that maybe.
So I'm gonna keep longevity on it just as an option, but body of work is one as well. Okay.
Now I know we mentioned versatility, but I think versatility. Hold on. I wish this was like in front of me so I could see it. But
drum programming, hit making ability, ability to mask a sample, influence, versatility / collaboration ability. Where we talked about being able to work with different artists.
It's not a slash.
It's not
collaboration, versatility.
Okay, I'm gonna make adjustments as we go.
Yeah, I was just making sure that that's distinct because I feel like versatility could be so many different things. So I want to make sure that's distinguished.
Collaboration, versatility. I got you.
Yeah.
Melodic elements, beat structure, how good are the records, listenability, longevity, body of work.
Yeah.
So that's
a good amount. I mean,
that's a lot. I don't know if there's anything that we're leaving out that is vital when we think about producers. Because the ability to make a dope record to me is very important.
Right.
Gotta have that. Gotta be able to do that. I like body of work, but Jay Moore mentioned you might have 5 strong years. And then how do we weigh that versus the person that's been relevant for 20 plus? Or found a way to carve a lane out for 20 plus.
True, but you know what I mean? You might be able to put somebody who's had 20 years, you put their top 10 against somebody who was doing it for 5, you put it up against their top 10. That person who had maybe a larger impact in that 5 years and the person did in 20.
That's true. How about this? I'm just throwing darts at the board. Well, it goes back to body of work. Never mind.
What about, have we mentioned anything that's kind of related to, I know we probably have, but like originality, like being like their own sound?
Like someone who did it first and you can tell people came behind that.
I like that. A unique.
Yeah, like Alchemist, for example, he's got a lot of children. You know what I mean?
A lot. Yep.
Dilla has a lot of children,
And child support.
Matter of fact, if we want to be honest, DJ Paul got a lot of kids running around.
Yeah,
to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else could there be?
Originality,
ability to rap. No, I'm kidding.
Now we'll start. That's gonna make it real short.
We're gonna see a lot of 4s and 5s.
Yeah,
or get some 0s.
Yeah.
By far, I'm the best producer on the mic. Who said that? Look at Red August pointing to himself. See? Everybody a star.
We need to get it together.
Stop, man.
Does relevancy mean anything in this realm?
Maybe. I think it could go to, I think it could like maybe, I don't know, kind of, I feel like relevancy could be like longevity a little bit. You know what I mean? Like how long? I guess it just depends. What do you mean by that? Like the relevancy to like the pop culture or in hip hop or, like what's going on right now?
Mixture of both.
Mixture of both.
Pop culture.
Like if Apollo Brown is dropping a whole bunch of projects, and people like them, but he's not super big, does he get docked for it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, this is very tricky. That's why I'm glad we're having the conversation. This is very tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm taking notes. Now I might be nitpicking here and being a nerd, but I'll throw this one out there. What about the quality of the production from like a mixing and mastering standpoint? Because Dr. Dre to me always gets marks because his stuff sounds better than everybody else's.
Well,
it always has.
But that's on the engineer. That's not on the producer.
But he He engineers it though. Like
but that's not that's separate. Do you engineer your stuff?
I get it close. Then somebody else will, put the sauce on it.
That's
Okay, that's fair.
That's what I mean. Like the engineers kind of.
I was just throwing it out there because Dre's stuff just sounds better than a lot of people's stuff.
I think historically it has, but the stuff I've heard recently
of late
has been average to me, if not.
Oh no, that Compton album sounded good, man.
Yeah, the Compton album.
The 6 tracks that did he just drop sounded like bleh to me.
Yeah,
Dre just dropped 6 tracks.
They were for a video game.
Yeah, but there's still 6 tracks.
Still counting. Still counting. Yeah. He has but do you guys agree with me that he has a certain standard from his?
I think he used to.
He's just saying it hadn't been what it was.
Compared to Compton, yeah, I could see.
Compton slap.
Compared to the 6-pack he put out for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Compton slap, boy. All of them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I've never looked at Dre like Dre's got engineers too.
Okay,
and I just kind of look at that's kind of a paywall.
True, Justice League stuff sounds good.
Yeah,
sounds really good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. We got enough to at least go back and fine tune and refine. I'm trying to look at them and see if there's anything else that we have left out.
Yeah, I don't know.
We might have to open it up in maybe in Discord or something. If some of the people want to put in some additional criteria. Or
it's already in there. It's ready for you to paste.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But I think we got a good start. This is going to be hard, and I think what makes this interesting is with MCs. All MCs are different. We know, and we broke the MCs down for what they are and what they do and how they do. With the producers, you have producers that are legendary that don't rely on samples like some that do, but they're just as legendary. And then I
don't think rely on samples is a fair even statement though.
You don't think so? You don't think Premier relies on samples?
No, I think everybody samples. I think everything is a sample.
I wouldn't say Pharrell relies on samples. I don't think the Neptunes
some people's career
rely on
built
samples.
around the sample bag.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like
Organized Noise is not sample based.
If somebody plays a piano and they record it and then you make a record of it, you are sampling that piano. It is the same thing.
So what about,
to a certain extent,
but what about
more so somebody is digging in the crates,
right? I wouldn't necessarily.
I'm not trying to knock it. I'm just talking about the difference in style.
No, I know. I'm just trying to say, like, I don't know if digging in the crates is really a skill to the extent. I mean, it is.
It is a
You
skill.
have an ear for a sample.
It is, but I think the bigger skill is being able to flip anything into something that sounds good, as opposed to just finding a nice loop.
I mean,
I do agree with that.
Think about what Justice Blaze. Justice Blaze.
Shout out to Justice Blaze.
What Just Blaze did with the Super Freak, as opposed to what it was for Hammer when it was just basically a loop. He turned it into some. So I mean, really, you could had
evolved.
But also you could dig in the crates all you want. Right? If you're just gonna sample the actual melody and just loop it, okay, it's one thing. But if you're gonna take another part and chop it up. You could take that same super popular record and turn it into two different things.
And that's where we get into the area where it's interesting, because Alchemist is somebody that has led and spearheaded the resurgence of the big loops. Now you see Derringer and all these cats. It's a whole wave now, Griselda. But he was one of those people that did that very well, to pick the right sample to make it work. I've always given him peace for that. But do we weigh that less versus the person that can actually go in and chop? That's why.
No.
That's why this is interesting to me. That's why I think it's interesting.
I mean, as somebody, the way I feel is as somebody that can do both. I feel like they're both equally as good.
Right.
That's why I said melodic. Like, what do your melodies sound like? Because that's essentially what you're chopping. You're chopping a melody.
Agreed.
So how good are your melodies? So if you're a sample producer, how good are you at digging? If you're somebody from scratch, how good are you at being Scott Storch? How good are you at making whatever that is be whatever that is? I think that's the way I would approach it. Because otherwise I feel like it gets too nuanced to where people are going to, I don't want to dock Alchemist for not chopping.
Right.
and I don't want to dock Pharrell for playing from scratch. You know, like I feel like
because they're both dope at what they do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
they're both dope at what they do.
We have to be careful with that. You know, if this was a list of just sample chopping producers, and I feel like maybe we could go down that route, but
we get there faster. I think.
For sure.
We get there faster if it was just sample chopping producers, but I mean it's not. So we gotta make sure we get something that's fair.
We could maybe do something that's related to versatility. Maybe back to your point, and maybe we kind of mentioned this that maybe they can do both. I don't know.
I hold that
already in there.
Yeah, but it's versatility. It's collaboration versatility, being able to work with other artists.
Okay. I just think overall versatility should be.
That's something that I hold in high regards.
Yeah,
being able to do.
I think that's fine. I just wanted to be specific on that one. That wasn't versatility.
Collaboration versatility versus just versatility. I got you. I hold that in high regards. Being able to.
Would it be
to do that?
Would it be just to be specific? Would it be just production versatility, like the whole overall beat, or would it be anything, like, are we talking about, what are we trying to highlight here? Are we trying to highlight the versatility of being able to produce in both of the ways that you can produce, which is essentially play something and or chop records, or is it a versatility in just kind of like the overall sound that comes out? Which is more important?
Probably a mixture of both, I would think.
I would have a hard time judging each of those as the same thing, though, I guess.
Because versatility can easily be, and we'll just throw names out there, a producer that will be able to make a slap with French Montana, somebody that can make a slap with Kendrick, and then somebody that can make a slap with Boosie.
So it's less about the actual process. It's more so about the versatility of collaboration of artists. That's what I just.
Which, like you said, it's coming back around to that.
So I feel like,
but I see your point though. I see where you're going.
I feel like the other versatility is just the versatility, not in like who you can work with, but like in what you can create.
Right.
And I understand there can be some overlap there, but Premier doesn't. When Premier's doing records for Christina Aguilera, he's still the same Premier as before. He's not.
His style still works for Christina.
Yeah, for sure. But
same way work with MOP.
But I would consider that like a collaborative versatility, not a style versatility.
What I'm talking,
no, that makes sense.
To Lone's point, I'll give you a prime example. To Lone's point, it's tall black guy. I've seen him chop samples and be able to do that, but I've also seen him be able to make beats from scratch, play the keys, formulate it, and come up with it. Like, that's different from what we're talking about as it relates to being able to be versatile to work with artists. I'm talking about a dude that can chop samples and get in that bag and then go no sample and play keys and do all that. That's a whole different skill set.
That's going to be hard to pinpoint for some people though, because we're not going to know. And I don't know.
That might be too deep though. I'm just throwing an example out there, but that might be a little too deep. We want to keep it to the point where it's fair across the board.
I think versatility of style though.
Versatility of style,
of production style could be one, maybe.
I'll put it down.
You know what I mean? Because that kind of goes into kind of what you were saying, and
I'll put that down. Okay.
Then we don't get super nuanced into the who's playing versus, because a lot of times we don't even know unless like we're studying.
Man,
you know what I mean? Like
you got to read we used to do that. I used to read the credits and see who played what, but now they don't even show production credits anymore. It just drops. So, you see Mike Dean played this and XYZ played that and Robert Glasper or whatever. But okay, I'm going to save this. I think we got a good start. We'll just have to fine tune it and, get to the point where
I think that's a decent place.
We have something we can agree on. This is going to be fun though, because the names that I see thus far are incredible. And I still thought about maybe 4 or 5 that could be added. So this is going to be good. So
yeah, join our Discord and you can contribute to this.
Yes, indeed.